What's up? If you were watching one of my last videos on the CRF, you would have seen I attempted to do a water pump upgrade because it keeps overheating in this super hot summer temperature. Well, you might have remembered I came across a small problem of finding that the water pump bearings were knackered. Well, this is where we're at right now. Having the bike lying on its side a la jungle styley whilst I spill fluids all over the floor. So just to save time, the water pump is off. The water pump shaft is wobbling around. It don't feel as bad as it did before, but it is wobbling. I have unbolted all the case screws. Foot peg can stay on, but brake pedal's got to come off. Take the brake light switch bracket off just to make it easier. But what's going to happen now when we lift the cover is we're going to get the dregs of the oil in the oil filter are going to come rushing out. I'm pretty sure the oil level itself is below the case, but it might not be. Now, if you've had these cases off before, you should find that it lifts off quite easy. If it doesn't, there's one pry point there, there's one pry point there, and there's one pry point right up there. Now, when I say pry, you don't need to swing on them like a maniac, but they do help the pulls. Anyway, while I'm here, there's a couple of dabs of water hanging around. Now, this here is your main oil feed from your oil pump to your oil filter housing, so that is going to weep oil until the residual runs out. So you want to put something on the floor just to catch that. Also, like I said just now, your oil filter housing is still full of oil, so that's going to gush a load of oil out. There, did you see that? Did you see it? Because I'm not looking through the viewfinder, I'm only looking at what I'm doing. Right, the bad boy we need to get to is here. That's the water pump shaft. I'm just going to come back here now so you can possibly see what I'm looking or talking about. There's your oil pump shaft. That's where your seals, your two seal edges run there, look. There's hardly any wear on that. There's a little bit of cack on the end, and the bit that the bearings are wobbling on is here. They all look good. Or there, sorry. They all look good. So what we got to do now is put that down there in the dirt. We've now got to pull these two bearings out. Now, the best way to do that, you can either go in from the back and drive them out, or get yourself a blind bearing puller. Those Chinese ones are quite usable, and try pulling it out that way. Okay, so there's your options. Let's see what we can do. Well, from my dealings with other bearings in the Honda cases, they've mostly fallen out by hand almost. So I'm going to go for giving it a tap with a screwdriver as the primary idea, and if that doesn't work, then I'm going to do it properly. 1, 2. Like I said, these bad boys aren't in there overly hard. That one feels fine. There's quite a bit of lift in it. That one feels fine. It's a bit of lift in it. Anyway, they're out now. The next thing is your seal. There's a black mechanical seal there. Oh, sorry. There's a black oil seal there. The mechanical seal is in behind it. And we want to drive Oh, what was I saying about the spare oil? Oops. Right, before I invert the case, I better drain the oil filter housing. Well, that was basically just a splash of oil up in the feed pipe there. So back to the bearing, the seal. Oh, it's quite awkward having to pick it up to show everybody everything close up. Basically, that piece of steel there, can you see that steel ring? That steel ring is like a big giant top hat. So all that is a one-piece unit, and we're just gonna knock it out. Again, I could be using a punch on this, but I'm just going to be lazy and use a screwdriver. Right, the seal's knocked out. Let's just see how we're getting on there. Don't like beating too crazy, but sometimes you have to. Right. Seals explained. This now mash it up. Oil seal is the seal that keeps the oil inside the gearbox, keeps the water from getting in, and it goes, you can't tell anymore, but you can see by the spring here that that's the underside of it, so it goes facing towards the outside of the engine. On the other side here we've got this big mechanical seal, and basically that sits in the casing, that seals the water, and then the rubbing bits, these are like a carbon ring. So that carbon ring there rubs on the back of the water pump, which is over here, and the water pump, that white ceramic disc, is what rubs on that ring. So all those need to be kept clean and tidy. But obviously once you've punched this steel top hat out, you've pretty much rendered it all scrap. Now interestingly enough, this type of seal is used on pretty much all motorcycles. And without measuring it, I can't tell you, but you might even find that this will cross-reference and fit KDX, KLX, anything else that you might be struggling to find a seal for. You might well find that a CRF one will fit. So that's worth bearing in mind. I know I put a KLX seal into my KDX250 after discovering that the weep hole in the casing, which is at the bottom of the water pump, see that? See the tube there? If the seal goes, coolant leaks out of there. Well, on my KDX, I found that some clever chappie had put hot glue up there just to cure the leak. Lovely. I can hear Minitron swinging away at a walk in there, so I'm probably going to have to go and get some food right now. Let's just see if you can see. Yes, you can. Right, looking down into the hole, you can see where the oil seal goes. You can also see all that black staining and leaking there going towards the bottom of the casing. Yeah, well that goes down into your weep hole, which is at the bottom there. This small spring tends to fall out of the clutch. It's at the base at the bottom of the clutch arm. Don't overlook losing that one. I've already seen someone in another forum that couldn't get his clutch to work because he'd lost his spring. Well, there it is. Anyway, I'm now going to clean up this hole and all the blue sealant, which comes with the new seal. Then we're going to fit the new seal and get out there and give it some. But like I said, It sounds like lunch is approaching, so I'm off to get some scran. See you on part 2 for putting the seal and all the rest of it back in.